Good afternoon, boys and girls. It's Miss Jenkins. I am back to have some fun with you and make some art. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started. You can see here that I have done my name and sort of this little bit of an optical illusion name art design. And we're going to go ahead and do that today with my husband's name. And then you're going to practice along with me if you'd like to. And then you can do your own name. So let's get going. All right, so you need a piece of white paper, something that is in landscape. You're going to need either markers or color pencils. And you'll need a pencil, an eraser, a sharpener, a ruler, a skinny Sharpie, like an extra fine, and then a fine. So those, I believe, and yeah, that's it. That's all you're going to need. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'd like to do is we'd like to sort of measure the length of what we want our letters to be, like the size, how high. So if you put your ruler on the left edge, you know what, I'm going to use my smaller ruler. If you put your ruler on the left edge of your paper, you can mark it at the 3, just put a little mark there, and then you can mark it again at the 7, so that way you have something that is 4 inches tall. And if you have your 2 marks there, and it's somewhere in the middle of the page, lower middle, so it's not totally way at the bottom or not totally way at the top. And then you're going to go ahead and draw very, very lightly, draw a horizontal line that takes you from one side to the other. And do the same thing up here. Same thing, horizontal line that takes you from one side to the other. And now we have sort of our space for our letters. And my husband's name is Mark, so we're going to go ahead and use his name today. And if there's time, I'll show you how to do other letters at the end. Okay, so to begin, you want to kind of think about your letters being maybe about 2.5 inches wide for each letter. So when I think about that, I just try to imagine kind of where I want to put like the middle letters of the name. So the A and the R, I want to put them like right here. And so I'm just going to kind of imagine, I'm just going to put this little A right there, and an R right there, and a K over here, and an M over here. Now that's going to work out. Okay. So now that I kind of know, roughly about how much space I want on either side, and by the way, if you don't get this perfectly centered, it's okay because you can always just cut a sliver of the paper off at the end if you want to. So I would use your ruler as much as possible. I'm going to go ahead and use my Sharpie for some of these steps just so you can see what I'm doing. But vertical line, I'm going to start with my letter M, and I'm going to go straight down. And then up here, I want part of an M here and part of an M here. So that's sort of the top portion of my 3-dimensional M. And then if I were to come straight down and put a point right there in between the space, I can then go ahead and draw my 2 angled lines. And then I can draw my second vertical line, which will complete the outer part of my M. So there it is. And then down here, I'm going to put a horizontal that's about roughly the same size as what you see up here, and over here as well. And then the objective is to go up until I get right there, leaving sort of a space from this tip to this top right here. And I'll do the same thing on the other side, go up just as high as I did on this side. And by doing that, I am then able to connect it with my middle V. Okay, that makes my M nice and long. Then I'm going to go ahead and do my A. So my A is going to be right here. And I'm going to go like this. And then the space at the top is going to be about that wide. And I want to make sure that I have sort of the same degree of angle, but sort of opposite direction on the other side of my A, so it gets wider as you get closer to the bottom. And then down here, I want that a little bit more than half an inch. And down here and here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I want to have a parallel line next to that left angle that I have, and a parallel line on this side, following that angle as closely as I can. Same direction. And there we go. And then in here, I'm going to draw my little window for my A. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my R. So another vertical line down, and then a roundabout shape for the top portion of my R, and then a curved and straight down shape, and the bottom leg part here. And I will come up, and then I will come back down to meet that, and then I can make my little window on the inside here, and I will end with my K. So my K is going to come over here, okay, top of it, vertical line, angle line, across, and then the same angle again. So I'm going to go till about here, maybe a little further, and then angle this way. And even though I tried to space it, look, mine's a little bit wider on this side and a little bit more narrow on this side. No big deal, you can trim it at the end. So then I want to do my vertical right here, and then my diagonal right there, and now I've got my sort of block letters. The next thing you're going to do, boys and girls, and this you should definitely do with a pencil, you should really be working in pencil, right in the middle of my letters, so in the middle between the A and the R, I'm going to come straight up, and I'm going to draw a point right there, okay? Because we're going to basically draw our letters using 1-point perspective. So now, boys and girls, every corner or every sharp edge of these letters, you're going to end up making a line that takes you all the way to this point. And let me show you what I mean by that. So here on this left part, left side of the M, I'm going to make a line that goes to that point. Going to do the same thing again on this part. Everything I do is going to come back to my point, the point that I have put right here. And then I'm going to do this one. So you just keep going down, and then this one, and then the A, and then the A, and then we're going to go in this direction for the R, because remember, no matter where you're coming from, all the lines, all the edges need to meet in the same exact place. So over here it wouldn't be a point so much, it would sort of be the round part of the R, like sort of on the edge over there on the right side. And then your K, same thing, K to the dot, line up that ruler, hold that ruler nice and steady so it doesn't move or slide on you or slip while you're working. Hold it nice and firm. Alright, so then we got that. And finally, we will end with our last mark. Okay, so now that we have this, we can now begin the process. So what you need to think about is how far, like, do you want to leave your things moving all the way out to that point and then moving out again, like getting narrow and then moving out again and then doing something at the bottom? That's up to you. But what I'm going to show you today is part of the steps, and then you can decide if you want to take it further. So ultimately you want to decide how how big you want your letters to be extending out into space. So that means that, for example, we've lined everything up to come to this point, but we're going to go ahead and cut some of this stuff off. So I'm going to make a mark there, a line, a horizontal line there, and again here. And actually, the best thing to do would be to take your ruler and go ahead and go like this, like however tall you want your letters to go. You can go like that. And then you can take your eraser and erase the sections that are in between the letters. So we're going to erase all these sections here, and this, and this, and this. And then down here we're going to erase this line that we had there to begin with. Erase, erase, erase some more. Any of those horizontal lines are going to disappear now that you're erasing. Erase, 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 and erase, and erase. And then you can go ahead and erase all the lines that are above the line that you made to sort of cut your letters off from going further out into space, okay? And they can go further if you want them to, okay? It's really up to you. So now we've got that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to think about the spaces down here, okay? So because you have certain things going a certain direction, even the three-dimensional aspect that we're going to mark here, it also has to follow what's there, like what we did up here. So what this means is that when you do, this isn't going to be long enough, when you do this line here, you have to line it up where that point is as well. So here's my point. I can still see it because I used a pencil pretty hard. And I'm going to make that mark there. And then down here, I'm going to align it there, align it with my dot that was up here. But I'm not going to draw all the way up there. I'm just drawing this part down here until the letter next to it basically stops it. And then over here, oops, forgot to erase this stuff down here. So erase this horizontal line at the bottom as well. And then same with the A. The bottom edge of the A is going to end up meeting right there. Okay, do you see what I'm talking about? And then over here, the bottom part of the A is actually going to end up, what's going to happen is we're going to see more of the R than the A. So if you look at it like this, like you go here and you align right there, then you've got your R, and then this would just end up having to go like that, and then your A would go like this and would come down here like this, and this would come down straight and straight. And let's adjust this area here a little bit. So this would come all the way to there, and the R that is here will end up going like this. It'll come a little bit behind the A. So I erased that just now because this is much wider than this area up here. You really want to make sure that your angles are the same width when you apply that parallel line. So that is where I want my A. And then this allows me to have my R there as well. And then I can have this mark here for the R, and here for the R as well, which should go to there. And then our K over here, back to that dot, would be here. And on this side, it would be the same thing. It would sort of be a little bit of a sliver though. Yeah, that's not going to work there. So then we would go like this, straight down, and straight down. And this, we just wouldn't see very much of it. We would see a little sliver like that. And so now you've got your three-dimensional letters. So once you have your letters, you can then go ahead and start adding your designs, okay? So what I would do is with a Sharpie, I would go ahead and outline what you've done so far. And use a ruler if you need to. But essentially, you're outlining what you've already done. And here, and here, and straight up and down, diagonal, diagonal, straight, diagonal, straight, diagonal, and then down here and down here. Okay, so now you have your block letters. So now what you would do with your skinny Sharpie is you would just go in and add designs within your name. Now remember when we did these lines, they went all the way over here to this point. So if you want to extend your blockiness of your name further, you would just, you would cut your line off here, for example, and then these would end up going all the way back here. It's the same rule no matter where you decide to stop the section. It's still the same exact rule. So then I would erase anything that's left over, and then I would start adding designs. And on mine, I took mine all the way over here, right? But for you, I mean, like I said, you can do that if you want to. And then I just did a different pattern in each letter, and then I added color. So let me just go through a few patterns with you, and then I'll let you get to it. All right, so I'm going to do a brick pattern for here. And if you know anything about bricks, you know that they're staggered, right? So no two bricks are exactly measured equally right under one another. Instead, they're going to be like staggered, like that. So if I were doing this, I would finish the whole thing, just the front part of my letters though. I would not do the sides. That's where I would add color. And then, let's say, so again, I'm going to just do this A for you. Something pretty simple, but just to kind of show you where you'll do your patterns. You won't do them on the sides, because if you do them on the sides, you'll end up losing some of that three-dimensionality that you want to maintain, showing the sort of the blockiness of the letters. So you would just stay on the front-facing part of each letter. Think about it like that, the front part of each letter. And I'm just going to do this. And you can see how, if I filled it up, it would be really full. And then what I would do is, using my markers, I would then start adding different colors. So I would probably do shades and tints of colors within one section. So then I might add this sort of darkish pink right here, and then add something lighter right here, but still within sort of the same shade and tints of that color. So I would add this here, and I would add it here as well. And if you're wondering what kind of markers these are, they are amazing. They are Prismacolor Premier markers. They're expensive and lovely and wonderful, and you can't go wrong with them. They're really beautiful. And so I'm going to do a lighter pink up here on the upper half. And so you can see that the two pinks, same family of color. And then I would just do all my black and white here. And then I would probably just do different colors on each thing. And then the sky's the limit, you guys. You can do so many things with this. You can, like what I did is I extended mine all the way out, and then I made another point down here for sort of a lower 1-point perspective, so then it becomes a 2-point perspective. So really there's so many cool things you can do with name art. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope you enjoy this. And if you have a hard time, for example, figuring out how to make a letter look three-dimensional, all you got to do is message me on either Seesaw or, no, you guys are on Google Classroom. On Google Classroom, and I can, you know, draw something and then just send you a photo of it so you kind of see. But I bet you guys can figure it out. All right, love you guys, and I can't wait to see you if I ever get to see you again. All right, miss you so much. Bye, everybody.